The raise that quietly ruined your future. You get a raise. $7,000 a year. After tax, that's about $387 extra a month. At 7:32 a.m., your phone lights up with the deposit notification, and for a few beautiful hours, you feel rich. Not rich, just safe. Like maybe now you can stop living like your life is one parking ticket away from collapse. Maybe now you can stop checking your bank app in grocery store lines. Maybe now you can stop buying furniture from strangers on Facebook Marketplace and pretending the weird smell will fade. Maybe now you can stop splitting a streaming password with someone you do not even like anymore, because canceling one more thing feels like losing ground. So you do what almost everyone does. You upgrade. Not irresponsibly. That is what makes this so dangerous. You sign a lease that is $200 more because it has in-unit laundry, better light, and a kitchen that does not make you feel like your life went wrong. You put money down on a newer car because your old one makes a noise every winter that sounds like a threat. You start saying yes a little more. Delivery. Weekends away. Nicer groceries. A mattress that does not feel like punishment. A life that finally looks like your effort is showing up somewhere. Nothing flashy. Nothing insane. Nothing that sounds like a mistake when you say it out loud. 6 months later, it is 11:08 p.m. You are standing in your kitchen in socks, lit by the refrigerator light, staring at your bank app again. Same tight chest. Same private math. Same question. How did getting paid more make you feel broke again? That is the trap. Not luxury. Not stupidity. Not one giant disaster. Just a better version of normal life arriving before your money was strong enough to hold it. And once that happens, your life does not get freer. It just gets more expensive to maintain. Today, I want to show you two people. Same age, same city, same salary, same raise, same exhaustion. One uses the raise to buy relief. The other uses it to buy freedom. At first, the wrong person looks smarter. 10 years later, the difference is brutal. Wealth is not what looks impressive. It is what keeps your life from breaking when something goes wrong. Let's call them Maya and Ethan. They are both 24. Both make $58,000 a year. Both split rent. Both feel behind. Both know people who somehow make the same money but look more put together online. Neither of them is reckless. That matters. Because people love to imagine financial traps happen to careless idiots. They do not. They happen to normal people who are tired of feeling embarrassed by their own lives. Ethan is tired of everything looking temporary. The chipped coffee table, the stained couch, the cheap apartment lighting that makes every night feel like a headache, the old car with the steering wheel that shakes on the highway, the quiet humiliation of checking prices before buying olive oil. He is tired of feeling like adulthood is happening to other people first. And the truth is, Maya is tired too. She is tired of saying no. Tired of checking menus before agreeing to dinner. Tired of pretending she does not care when friends post cleaner apartments, better kitchens, nicer weekends, softer lives. She wants the upgrade too. This is important. She is not a saint. She is not naturally disciplined. She is not one of those weird people who gets emotional satisfaction from a retirement contribution. She wants the couch, the better place, the less stressful life. The difference between Maya and Ethan is not character. It is sequence. When the raise hits, Ethan lets the money touch his life immediately. Maya makes part of it disappear before she can get attached to the feeling. Automatic savings, emergency fund, retirement contribution, a small investment account she barely trusts yet. It is not sexy. That is why almost nobody envies it. But this is how the split begins. Not with a grand philosophy. With one person deciding their raise should be visible now, and the other deciding it should matter later. In year one, Ethan absolutely looks like the smarter one. His apartment is better. Not luxury, just better. Better light, cleaner walls, a bathroom that does not feel apologetic. In-unit laundry, which matters way more than rich people think it does. His car is better. Not impressive, just adult. His weekends look better too. He says yes more. Yes to drinks. Yes to a birthday dinner. Yes to the short trip. Yes to delivery on a Thursday because he is exhausted and wants one night where life feels easy. He posts a photo of the apartment, deletes it, then reposts it. 12 likes. One comment. Look at you. That comment stays with him all night. Because what Ethan really bought was not a better apartment. He bought evidence. Evidence that he was moving up. Evidence that the work was turning into something visible. Evidence that his life was no longer in that ugly, provisional stage where everything feels rented, delayed, and slightly embarrassing. Maya, on the other hand, looks like she is still waiting for her life to start. Same couch, same old phone, same hesitation when plans come up. One night, she opens her banking app and almost transfers $600 from savings to checking so she can buy a new couch. She stares at the number, closes the app, opens it again 10 minutes later, closes it again, not because she does not want the couch, because she is starting to understand something brutal. A raise does not just increase your income, it increases your standards. And standards are much easier to raise than lower. That is why the trap is so effective. The upgraded life wins the first round every time. It looks better, feels better, gets more validation, takes better pictures. At first, the thing that destroys people is almost never one insane purchase. It is repetition, a little more rent, a manageable car payment, slightly better groceries, a few subscriptions, more social spending, a mattress payment, a cleaner apartment, a more expensive version of normal. Every choice is survivable. That is exactly the problem. A lot of people are not broke because they were reckless. They are broke because they made 10 reasonable decisions in a row. Ethan feels this happening, but he does not have language for it yet. He just knows the raise is gone. Not literally gone, emotionally gone. It showed up, touched his life, upgraded the scenery, and vanished into monthly obligations wearing nice packaging. And now he has a problem most people mistake for adulthood. His life feels better. His money feels tighter. That combination confuses people for years. Because they think, if my life improved, why do I still feel trapped? Because improvement and freedom are not the same thing. Maya feels the pull too. When she visits Ethan's apartment, she notices everything. The light, the kitchen, the fact that his place no longer looks like a waiting room for a better future. On the walk home, she feels cheap. That is the word people do not say out loud. Not disciplined. Cheap. Delayed. Boring. A little humiliated. This is where a lot of people lose. Not because they do not understand money. Because invisible progress is emotionally humiliating when everyone else seems to be making their progress visible. Then life sends a small bill. It is never dramatic at first. That is why so many people miss the warning sign. Maya gets a dental bill and a rent increase in the same month. She feels it immediately. It ruins her mood. She cancels a weekend trip. She gets annoyed at herself for caring this much. But she absorbs it. The month gets uglier. Her life does not. Ethan gets hit with a $900 repair 2 weeks after an expensive bachelor weekend. He did not really want to go on, but felt weird declining. Now the whole machine tightens. Credit card, mental accounting, shifting bills, telling himself next month will be cleaner, telling himself he is fine, telling himself this is temporary. This is one of the most important money distinctions in adult life. There is a huge difference between I have a problem and my entire system cannot handle a problem. Maya has a problem. Ethan has system fragility. That feels very different from the inside. When you have margin, a surprise is annoying. When you do not, a surprise feels insulting. Personal. Like life waited until the worst possible week to come after you. That emotional shift matters. Because once money starts feeling personal, people stop making clean decisions. They react. And reaction is expensive. That is how a $900 repair turns into months of financial static. Not because the number was impossible. Because the system was already stretched so tightly that one ordinary hit became a crisis. That is what people mean when they say they are doing okay and still cannot breathe. They are not stable. They are balanced. Precariously. By year 3, Ethan is making more money than ever. And he feels less powerful than he did at 24. That sounds insane until you have lived it. The apartment is nicer. The car is better. The groceries are better. The weekends are better. The life is objectively improved. But now the life has appetite. It has to be fed. That is the hidden cost no one warns you about. A nicer life does not sit there quietly. It demands continuity. The apartment wants the paycheck. The car wants the payment. The social rhythm wants maintenance. The upgraded version of you wants to keep existing. At some point, lifestyle inflation stops feeling like pleasure. It starts feeling like payroll. You are not enjoying the better life. You are managing it, serving it, defending it. And the deeper problem is psychological. Because now going backward does not feel practical. It feels humiliating. Cheaper apartment. Failure. Older car. Regression. Less spending. Punishment. This is when the trap becomes identity-based. Ethan is no longer just paying for a better life. He is paying to protect the version of himself that better life created. That is incredibly expensive. Maya upgrades too, just slower. That part matters. She is not frozen in some purity fantasy. She buys a better mattress. She says yes more often. She makes her life nicer over time. But because she built the base first, her upgrades sit on top of stability instead of replacing it. So when she spends, it feels like choice. When Ethan spends, more and more of it feels like preservation. One person is building options. The other is defending a setting. That difference compounds quietly until it is the only thing that matters. Freedom is not a nicer life. It is the ability to walk away from a bad one. Money is never just math. If it were, this would all be easy. Money is social. Ethan starts saying yes when he should say no. Destination wedding, birthday dinner, group trip, the kind of plans where everyone says, "Come on, live a little," as if that sentence has ever paid anyone back. He goes because he feels like he has to. Because the upgraded version of his life now comes with an upgraded expectation of participation. He is not just paying for the dinner. He is paying to remain legible inside his own social world. Maya starts saying no more often. Politely, calmly, without a big speech. People notice. One friend jokes that she acts broke. Another says she is too intense about money. Someone says the sentence that has ruined more futures than most market crashes. You have to enjoy your life too. Of course you do. That is what makes this so hard. Because that sentence is not wrong. It is just usually delivered with absolutely no responsibility for the bill. This is where the split gets painful. Ethan spends to preserve belonging. Maya risks looking smaller in the short term so her life can get bigger later. That is not a fun choice. That is not an aesthetic choice. That is a real adult trait. And most people lose it because social discomfort feels immediate, while financial consequences arrive dressed as time. 5 years in, both Maya and Ethan look normal. That word hides everything. Neither one looks rich. Neither one looks ruined. Neither one would trigger concern in a group photo. But their inner lives are now radically different. Maya opens her banking app and sees room. Not infinite room. Not fantasy. Just enough. Enough that a bad month is not a crisis. Enough that a surprise does not rewrite the rest of the quarter. Enough that when work gets unbearable, the feeling is anger, not captivity. That changes a person more than almost any luxury purchase ever will. When money stops being oxygen, your brain comes back online. You think better. You choose better. You panic less. You stop reacting to every problem like it is an attack on your survival. Ethan opens his app and sees maintenance, rent, insurance, payment, balance, upcoming charge, the recurring cost of remaining himself. That is the line most people do not realize they crossed. At some point, your spending stops being about pleasure and starts being about continuity. You are no longer buying happiness. You are financing the current version of your life so it does not collapse or downgrade. That is why people can get raise after raise and still feel no closer to freedom. Because the money never had time to become protection. It got promoted straight into lifestyle. By year 7, Maya has something Ethan still does not. Distance. Distance between a problem and a crisis. Distance between a paycheck and panic. Distance between I hate this job and I literally cannot leave. That distance is one of the earliest real forms of wealth. Not aesthetics. Not status. Not expensive proof. Just room. She has savings now with actual weight to them. Retirement accounts that no longer feel symbolic. Investments that have had enough time to become real. Maybe a side income. Maybe not. It almost does not matter. The real shift is internal. When a raise hits now, her first thought is not, what can I finally buy? It is, how much of this can stay mine? That is a completely different operating system. Ethan gets another raise too. For a week or two, it feels like relief. Then the life expands again. A little more travel. A slightly better place. A little more convenience. A few more expected yes. The same story, now with nicer receipts. This is what people miss about income growth. If every raise gets instantly converted into a new standard, then your income can rise for 10 years without your life becoming meaningfully safer. You are not building freedom. You are updating the cost of being you. That is a game people play for decades. Now they are both 34. Same broad income band. Same city. Same general level of career competence. From far away, both lives look completely normal. That is what makes the difference so cruel. Maya is not some internet fantasy millionaire. There is no cinematic transformation, no morning routine video, no fake guru arc. She just has a life that is harder to break. Savings, retirement, investments, actual breathing room, the option to wait, the option to say no, the option to leave something bad before it destroys her. That is wealth in its earliest useful form. Not looking rich, being difficult to corner. Ethan has something else. He has a life that still looks good in snapshots. Maybe even slightly better than Maya's, depending on the angle. But underneath it, 10 years of income growth got eaten by maintenance. The apartment upgrade, the car upgrade, the convenience upgrade, the social upgrade, the identity upgrade, the I deserve this upgrade, the it is only a little more upgrade. And now he is trapped in a life that requires steady performance just to remain intact. That is the tragedy. He did not buy freedom. He bought a nicer cage. And cages are hardest to leave when they match your taste. That is the part people do not see until it is too late. The wrong path does not feel wrong. It feels earned. It feels reasonable. It feels like adulthood finally starting. Right until the moment you realize you did not spend 10 years getting safer. You spent 10 years getting more expensive. Time helped Maya. Time sent Ethan the invoice. This is not a morality story. It is not good people save and bad people spend. That is lazy. Both of them were tired. Both wanted relief. Both wanted their life to look a little less delayed, a little less embarrassing, a little more like effort was finally turning into something visible. The difference was not virtue. The difference was order. One person built stability first, then upgraded. The other upgraded first, then tried to build stability underneath a life that had already become expensive. That is the trap. And it is one of the most common traps in modern life. So if you have ever gotten a raise, felt rich for 2 weeks, and then somehow ended up checking your bank app at night with the same old anxiety, that does not mean you are stupid. It means you are standing in a system designed to turn relief into recurring bills. If this hit close to home, comment, I have been there. And if you know somebody living inside this exact trap right now, send them this video. Because a lot of people are not failing because they are reckless. They are failing because every reasonable upgrade is quietly stealing the future they thought they were building. Subscribe for more money reality. No fake guru talk. No fantasy fixes. Just the hidden rules that decide whether your life gets stronger or just more expensive. The best raise you ever get is the one you keep, not the one you spend.